Hi and welcome to Key Technology. This is a short video on the VitiSort from Key Technology. Today we're going to cover just a little bit about the user interface and how to make some simple adjustments for sorting, affecting sorting performance on the VitiSort. So normally these categories on the right are size thresholds for various things: attached stems, green and brown, off color. Other is a foreign color category that is anything that does not meet good product, background, or some of the color trained into off color or green and brown. And then we have a smaller than size setting that we'll talk about last. It has its own enable button over here to the right. If you want to use it, you turn that on. If you don't want to use it, you just leave it off. Some varietals have small berries that you want to keep. Other varietals have small berries that you want to remove, and I'll discuss how to set those. But in general, this screen here, just simply touching the camera grab, image grab button, gets you an image of whatever is going through the system. And then with ejects turned on, you can see what the system is inspecting and shooting out. You can zoom in, and if you want to see what's underneath that, the best page to go to would be the blob selection page, where you highlight an area over here, and these two buttons, this one on the left allows you to zoom out, this one on the right allows you to zoom in. But once you get an area selected, just by touching, and wherever you touch that centers on this screen, then with this arrow, move it over to this side. So here we're seeing the segmented version, here we're seeing the raw video. You do have a slider down the middle that allows you to increase or decrease the brightness of the image if maybe you need to see something a little bit differently. This does not affect how the camera sees the images. It's just for the human standing in front of the monitor. So we can see a couple of berries here that are off colored. Over here you can see the system identified them with a yellow coloration, which was selected as green and brown. And then also you can see the hash marks where and some detail for size, 208 or 209 pixels here and 61 pixels here of that coloration, but resulted in a reject of those two items. And the reject was based on, from this page you can see the setting was 25 to make a decision on whether or not to reject. So when you look at these items and you zoom in, you can see some information, 130 pixels. That gives you some information about what to set these up to. In general, you make these settings smaller, you are more critical on the product going past the inspection system, and it'll reject more and pass very little defect. The larger you make these, the less tight the sort, and you allow more recovery into the pass bin. So we're just going to go through an example here real quick. We've got a little berry here with a stem on it, and this is one that people have questions about all the time, is how do I adjust that to take out more or less? First of all, the camera has to see it, and I'm going to turn ejects off so that we can see it. It's a little berry. Maybe if we turn off the segmentation we can actually see the raw video. It's a little berry with an attached stem. And turn filtration back on. You can see that the system has, zoom in on it, you can see the system has identified that small section attached to a good berry as attached stem. So you can see the coloration that was selected to show what the computer is seeing. So that small section was identified as an attached stem. Then the sorter was told, hey, I have a threshold right now set at 8. This stem has 13 pixels, so it got an eject signal. If, however, we wanted to pass that and accept it into the pass bin, you would move this up to, let's say, 14. It has to exceed 14 before we get an eject signal. Now I'm going to grab that image one more time and look at that same berry, and you can see there is no decision to eject it because we set the size threshold up just a little bit higher than what that was. So use the information that you see on this page to make decisions about where to set these thresholds. Adjusting colors is fairly easy. You can do some adjustments right here. If you want to see more green and brown, you would push the up arrow to add more green and brown, or if you wanted to see more good product, maybe you're rejecting too much good product and you want to recover some of that, you can say I want to see more good product, and these allow you to make a quick adjustment to the colors. But again, it's all based on what you're seeing on this page. Lastly, we're just going to talk about this smaller than. So fines is usually the minimum threshold for the computer to get busy analyzing something. So if with a setting of 20, if something small came through there, like a 18 pixel item, like a seed or something that's smaller than 20, the computer will completely ignore it and let it go. So it's going to have to be bigger than 20 to be analyzed. And then if it is smaller than 175, and this is turned on over here, we will eject a small berry. So I'm going to run this image back through, and now we might be able to see some of the, let me turn objects back on. So here we can see a few things that were a result of having enabled the smaller than. We can see these two berries right here have 131 pixels and 132 pixels. Our threshold was set at 175. So if you wanted to accept those, that threshold would have to be smaller. So you'd have to go down below 135 to accept those two. But it's a good example of you're allowing the nice big size berries to go and sorting out the smaller ones. Maybe those could be raisins and you would want to sort them on size. So again, turning this on with some settings, some reasonable settings there, allows you to do a very nice size sort. If you wanted to be, let's try, and we're going to set that down to 120, for example, and then run that image again, and then we're going to take a look at those two. Let's see, where were they? So now we are accepting the smaller ones along with the bigger ones, and maybe only discriminating some very, very small ones. That one happens to be 115. So with a quick setting of this threshold, you can do a fairly good size sort. So that concludes a brief demonstration of the adjustments on the user interface. Again, it takes a little bit of practice, but use the information that it's showing you on the screen here and make decisions about how to adjust these. If you have any questions, call us at Key Technology and we'll be glad to assist. That concludes this short little video on adjustments for the user interface of the inspection system.